Wage hike triggers mass fast food job loss.
Shalom. Okay. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who were well, and salutation and much love to Yakim out there pushing out his word in truth and sincerity. Brothers from Great Millstone, Tampa, back with another lesson. Lord's will is going to be edifying to the hopeful elect. And we're just going to go into, how America's collapsing right before your eyes. Mm-hmm. The economy is super inflated. All right, the people are dumping the petro-dollar. You got China, and among other countries, dumping the bonds. Yep. So, hey, America's on the way out of here, man. If you can't see, you going out with it. But go ahead, you got the article?
I got a quick reset first. This is Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. And that's what the thoughts of these devils are, is that they're going to be able to come out on this other side with this new system that's going to forward their agenda, which is ultimately getting into this MLTB. But we understand that there is as the elders talking about yesterday, there's going to be a wrench that's going to be thrown in the midst of all this, and that's going to be this World War III that's going to kick off. Yep. And that's going to cause this empire to completely be brought down. Okay, because what we see happening right now, and let me get this article.
Because it's going to get out of control for them, because Esau thinks it's going to all go to plan. They do want war, but it's going to be escalated. They think, oh yeah, we're going to have a little bit of bombings and shit like we did in World War I and World War II, and then we can come in with a new system. But that's when the Most High is going to intervene, right? And get that real quick in Job. Was it Job 5 or is it 20? One of those says in the sufficiency of he shall be disappointed. Roughly paraphrasing. Because Esau really think he gonna set up his new world order. You ain't setting shit up, man. The new world order is when Yahushua pops up on this planet, man. That's gonna be the new world order, the new Jerusalem. It might be 20 then. The fullness of his sufficiency. That's what it is. Got it? Just type it in. Fullness.
All right, here it is.
Got it?
Job 20 and 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, meaning difficulties. Yep. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So all the nations are going to be setting their sights on this devil to touch him, because as it says in Revelation 18, I see the queen and am no widow, and shall see no loss of children. And that's the thoughts of these devils. That's their pride, is that they can't be touched. Well, now you about to be touched by these other nations, and what the nations are doing now is getting away from his dominance. Because how Esau has been able to dominate the earth has been through his money, all right, through that petro-dollar. But as we see just a couple days ago, Saudi Arabia dropped the petro-dollar, all right. And I got this article here from bizcommunity.com, and it says the financial world is bracing for a significant upheaval following Saudi Arabia's decision not to renew its 50-year petro-dollar deal with the United States, which expired on June 9th. So on Sunday, this deal expired, and now they're not going back to that dollar. So the majority of a lot of nations get their oil from Saudi Arabia, including America, man. Okay, that's how they've been able to dictate what nations have done, is through that petrodollar, all right, being the currency that needed to be used to buy oil, okay, around the earth. But now we're seeing a pushback, and a big player like Saudi Arabia getting away from that is a blow to America's economy, man.
Yeah, outside of
strength,
outside of Israel, that was their number one ally out there in the Middle East. And now they just said, "Fuck your petrodollar. We're gonna go with the BRICS."
Right. Well, they signed up for BRICS, right? Yep. Yeah. So, these nations are all starting to wake up, man, and they're starting to smell the
fresh air.
Yep, the fresh air.
And even their America's own allies eventually are gonna turn on the gray whore, because they're gonna get fucked through all these deals and sanctions that America has been doing. Europe is fucked now. Right? They can't get no oil from Russia, and very soon they ain't gonna be able to get no oil from Saudi Arabia.
Right.
So what they gonna do? They're gonna have to make a choice. Ultimately, we know according to Revelation that the beast shall hate the whore.
What's that in? I know it's in Joel 2. About oh, here it is. Joel 2:20. It says, "But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up." You see, his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. Right? And so this land that's barren and desolate is talking about over there in the Middle East, man. Specifically, lo and behold, Saudi Arabia. Okay? That whole peninsula there is where Esau has been laying up for the longest. Okay? And they said his face towards the EC, which when you go over there and you look at a map, the EC is what? The Persian Gulf. All right? Which is what you have between Saudi Arabia and Iran. All right? And the hindermost sea is the Red Sea, man. So this is where Esau has been doing a lot of dealings over there in the Middle East. And now he's starting to get pushed out.
That's why the Spirit of the Lord got it on the Houthis, and
right,
which they're right there at the border, or not the border, but the opening of the Red Sea.
Right.
They're the Houthis protecting it. They remember there no ships could go through there now. They're robbing and shooting shit. So the Lord's stirring it up, gathering up the host out there in the Yahweh Shabbat.
Yep.
Clearly,
that's why the Lord has this devil over there, man.
Saudi Arabia is a major point in that.
Yep. That's what it says. Because he had done great things, man. His stink is going up there, because the things that Esau Edom is doing out there, man. It's not playing out the right way for him.
Well,
and now
he's a loser, man. This nigga, bro. If you really sit down and listen to these Edomites, they're the dumbest people on the planet. It's mind-boggling how they're in charge. Well, we know why. Because it's the Most High that took the basis of men and set them over us.
Yep.
And the Lord did that to see, look, I could take the lowest piece of shit on the planet and put them over to everyone, and have you all the way to the bottom. But now that's about to happen to Esau, as all the other nations are seeing him for the devil that he is. They're sick of it. And chiefly America, right? Because that's the spearhead of the beast. But hey, all the Western nations, which is the beast, right? Are getting shunned now. Everybody's pointing the finger at you devils.
Yep.
And the only Edomites that ain't getting pointed at is the Russians.
Everybody joining up with them.
Yep. And that's biblical too.
Yep.
And that's the scriptures. Because what Ezekiel, the Lord said they would raise up and be a guard unto these nations. And that's what we're witnessing play out in the Middle East right now.
Yep. Real quick, quick precept on the beginning of this article where it said, I'll read it again. It said the financial world is bracing for a significant upheaval, and that a lot of people, especially in these financial economic advisors, these guys are worried about what that is gonna cause here in America. Okay,
my 401k.
Specifically with the value of the dollar. So you already know what that means for you regular Joe Schmoes. Okay, what that means for you Joe Schmoes is that things are about to get even more expensive. Okay, because that dollar is going to be worth shit, because it's not flowing through the world economy anymore. Well, it is, but it's not running at the level that it used to. Okay,
you people are about to feel the pain soon.
Yep.
In a couple, days, weeks, it's coming.
And you already seen people getting laid off. Companies dropping people because of because California passed that minimum wage of $20, I think, and they fired a bunch of men.
Yeah, burger flippers getting $20. Yeah, okay, they're gonna replace you with a robot.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did too. But real quick, this is Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," and the keepers of the house are who? These financial advisors, man.
I bet you when they realized that on Wall Street Monday morning, them niggas was bugging out.
Yep.
Ding, 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 ding. The bell going off.
People selling.
Bugging out. Yep. Dumping what little they have. And it's because it's not going to be worth much very soon. Your dollar is worth nothing.
Yep.
Literally. The only thing that was propping it up was the petro-dollar. And the biggest player just dumped it.
Yep.
Now what? Now it's just a piece of paper.
Because now what this opens up is it allows Saudi Arabia to sell their goods not just oil, because the petro-dollar was, or the U.S. dollar was used to do trade all over the earth. You couldn't, to buy it, to trade anything, even amongst different nations, you had to use the dollar. Now, a big nation like Saudi Arabia going away from that and even selling their oil in other currencies, man. So it's going to bring even more courage to these other nations to say, for the weak to say, we are strong, you know, as the scriptures say. But it goes on to say this, Ecclesiastes 12:3, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, man. And this is what we're gonna witness here coming, I hope, Lord's will, here in the next couple months, man.
Yep, more and more people are gonna get laid off.
Yep.
More and more people are gonna become homeless, and then lo and behold, one day they're gonna come with a solution.
Yep.
With a chip.
Yep. With that UBI.
Yep. You don't need to work. You don't have to die. Just take this chip.
Yep. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, man. So businesses are going to start closing up because it's going to get too expensive, man. The dollar's not going to be able to have that same strength that it had that it has had. It's going to start to get even weaker now.
Hyperinflation is about to take place.
Yep.
It's going to shoot through the roof. Gas is about to be super expensive. Everything's about to be super expensive.
Yep. Just to read a little bit more on this
and
article.
then they're gonna bring these natural disasters in. You people are fucked.
Yep.
The hurricanes are coming. Look, we haven't had rain here. It's been a drought. They saying it's gonna be raining for the next 3 days. All of a sudden.
Through Sunday.
Yep. Well, that's a whole damn week damn near.
Yep. It says, going back to this article, it says the LAP security agreement signed by the United States and Saudi Arabia on June 8th, 1974 establishes two joint commissions, one on economic cooperation and the other on Saudi Arabia's military needs, and was said to have, and then really they weren't supplying Saudi Arabia with no military aid. Esau was just positioning himself over there.
Yep. You don't give a fuck about them.
Putting his ear to the ground out there, man. This is going into that Joel 2, man. That the works that he was committing out there, man. It says, and was said to have heralded an era of increasingly close cooperation between the two countries.
I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia started shooting missiles at Israel now.
Hey, well, they were kind of involved with the whole, because remember Yemen was shooting the Houthis too,
and they didn't shoot them down.
Yeah.
They let them bitches fly right over them.
It goes on to say, because there's this part of this I want to get to real quick. It says, let me jump down to here. It says the crucial decision to not renew the contract enabled Saudi Arabia to sell oil and other goods in multiple currencies. There you go. Yep. Including the Chinese
yuan.
Yep. The euros,
the
yen,
rupee,
yuan,
the Indian rupee.
Yep. Instead of exclusively in U.S. dollars. Additionally, the potential use of digital currencies like Bitcoin may also be considered. But this is
that's what it's all going to go to, which is everything's digital already. Now they got a super excuse to just get rid of cash.
Yep. Because now here goes the second section of this article. Cross-border CBDC transactions. It says in a more recent move, Saudi Arabia has announced its involvement in Project Mbridge, a project which explores a multi-central bank digital currency platform shared among participating central banks and commercial banks.
Oh, here's the kicker. Guess who owns those banks?
Yep.
You idiot. Like it matters. That's why it's not going to matter what they call it. It's still going to be central bank.
That's how you know it's going to be the one world order. They're all going to be under the same system.
Yep.
Come on, man.
You got to be an idiot not to see that.
Right. It says the project has more than 26 observing members, including the South African Reserve Bank, which has green-lighted,
another central bank,
as a member of this month. The better-known observing members of Mbridge are those of the Bank of Israel, of course, Bank of Namibia, Bank of France, Central Bank of Bahrain, Central Bank of Egypt.
They should just say central banks. The central banks that the devil owns, Edomites own.
It says the International Monetary Fund.
See, that's how Esau conquered the earth.
Yep.
He said, fuck it, you know what? Why are we going around killing these people when we should just put them in subjection? Let's make up a system, a monetary system that doesn't exist, and then set up these central banks all over the world and have them come to us. Then we don't even need to be there to rule them. We could just pay the rulers.
Well, they show you that in the movie House of Rothschilds, where before M. Shire, or however you say his name, Bauer, before he died, he brought all his sons together and he said, "This is what you're gonna do."
Yep. One went to England, one went to stayed in Germany, other went to
America.
Yeah, America.
Had, I think it was.
Well, the Rothschilds, they just married into the Rockefellers. They married into the Rothschilds family. That's pretty much the same family. You know, all they do is inbred. So,
right. It says the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the Reserve Bank of Australia, which we already see what Australia's been doing, and then here you go, and the World Bank. So,
who owns that?
Right.
The World Bank. What kind of shit? How is there a World Bank? That goes to show you that whoever owns that World Bank, World Bank, Google it. Say who owns the World Bank. See what the AI got to say about that.
And even when you go into the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, though, that's owned
still
by
through
these
central
Edomites.
banks anyway.
Yep. The World Bank Group is owned by its 189 member governments, also known as shareholders.
Unelected officials.
Right. The United States is the largest shareholder with 17.25% of the capital shares. So that's just government.
So they're not even telling you. In other words, exactly. So they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you who owns the World Bank, but we telling you.
Right, because it ain't these it ain't the leaders of these governments.
The USA don't even own the Federal Reserve, but they own the World Bank. Get the fuck out of here.
They own a share of it.
Yeah, the people that own America do.
Yeah, ask the question, who's in charge of those shares then?
Right.
Who's the one that gives the okay to buy more or to sell?
Well, who gives money? How does America get money? They go to a privately owned.
Right, exactly. They get funded by the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, exactly. They got to go beg the Federal Reserve so they can print trillions of dollars. And they don't get it like that. They get it in loan or damn bonds and shit like that.
Right.
Pretty much so they can get it. You know, they deal with different currency than the average person deals with. But that's the whole thing. That's about to be done away with, and it's going to be straight to this. You're going to deal directly with the central bank or the Federal Reserve instead of dealing with Bank of America, because that's what it is. Bank of America has to go to the Federal Reserve and you know, and then give you the cash, give you this fiat currency. But they're dealing with a whole different system.
Right. So here I typed in World Bank founded, and it says July 1944.
Of course.
In Bretton Woods, New Hampshire.
Yep. After the World War II.
Later on, NATO was formed. You know, at that same place.
Yep.
The World Trade Organization. But it says the World Bank Group is a family of 5 multilateral institutions focused on economic development, whose overarching mission is global poverty reduction.
Yep. And here's the kicker.
Yep. Established by Western powers.
Yeah, the beast.
Right. In 1944.
Yeah, the beast.
The World Bank was originally tasked with rebuilding the economies of post-war Europe.
Yeah, hence why America became rich.
Right, exactly.
You know.
But they stationed it here in America. Exactly. This is where they chose
the World Trade Center and all that. Yep.
But they established that here, and then they had to rebuild the final parts that needed to get rebuilt after that war. Yep. After those wars,
they had a fund. That's why all these nations were in debt to America, and that's why they still mad in Europe. That's why Europeans hate you Americans. Yep. You know, you had nothing to do with it. Hey, that Lord put that spirit on them. So even your own counterpart allies want nothing but to see you Americans in the streets begging. They laughing seeing all the homeless problems we got over here. They over there laughing. Oh, look at us. They're talking. They're talking shit. Everybody's laughing at America. Go ahead. You got anything else?
Just real quick. It says which country has the highest loan from the World Bank. It says as per the recent data of the World Bank, China, and this came out in 2018.
The central bank of Beijing, probably.
It says recent data of the World Bank. China is the largest recipient of the loan from the World Bank Group. China took loan. So again, this is why in the scriptures it tells you, what's that? The second Ezra's 15 at the end. Woe unto you, Babylon and Asia.
Yep. That's at the beginning.
You shall be partaker of her city at the beginning, because it ends off in the 14 mentioning Asia. okay, you're gonna go through the same shit because you went to this devil and made a league with himself to put yourself in the position you are today, man. Because for the longest time, you fucking Moabites were fucking peasants out there in China, man. Y'all were living in fucking mountains, living dirt poor.
Well, don't listen. See, I know Moabites. I've been to their house. The dirty Moabite that moves here from China. Right. They're some of the dumbest and dirtiest people. Right. So, and I've gone into the history. They didn't build that goddamn wall. The Great Wall of China. Actually, that goes back to Tartaria, which was Jake's. Okay, there were Israelites out there. You know, it's a whole different history. You can go into ancient maps though and find it. It's called Tartaria. All right, and if you look at the wall, it's facing the wrong way. So how can it's not that they were built to stop people. They were, you know what I'm saying? You just got to go into it, but it's a whole misconception of that wall. So them fucking goose ain't built that shit. And they, like the brother said, man, they're a bunch of peasants out there living rice fields. That's what they're good for, picking rice.
Now they had dynasties and stuff like that.
That could have been a Jake Han dynasty.
But Esau sophisticated Moab.
What's it called?
The Ming dynasty.
Nah. The dude Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah.
That might have been a Jake. Shit. Who knows? Cause that dude he was fucking hella bitches.
Yeah, he was from Mongolia.
Yeah, Tartaria. Yeah, that's where he really was from.
Right. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the
point.
Which
again, that they erased that out of the history book, so they had to have been Jake. Why would they erase that history? They don't teach you that. You've probably never even heard of Tartaria before this video. But I guarantee you, Google it and it'll pop up. You're gonna get a lot of misinformation, of course, but it's in there.
Yep. Just a little bit more history on this World Bank. It said in 1944, 1 year before the end of World War II, delegates from 44 countries met for the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference. So this is like your modern day WEF, the World Economic Forum.
Yep.
It says held at the Mount Washington Hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. The conference aimed to create the framework for post-war international economic cooperation and restructuring. And pretty much the point, because I'm going to end it there. No. The point is that these people set up that power long ago, man.
Yep, this has been in the works.
This is how they took over the earth financially. Yep. They got all the nations under one bank. Everybody had to come to them for the money because the world was in turmoil after World War II.
And that's the Lord put the spirit on them to do that. First, he put the spirit on them to go around with the sword to everywhere, from Americas, Africa, and Asia. Okay, all the continents he went around and subjected the people. Then he didn't have to. Again, he didn't just go into the history. What they did, they packed it up, went back to England. But they obviously left people. But then the banks, they started this bank system, and they was like, "Yes, genius!
Yeah, we'll help rebuild your nation."
Right
just
after you destroyed it.
Right, take out this loan.
Yeah, here's a loan.
Yep.
God.
Yep. That's pretty much the point, and now this system is getting ready to come crashing down, man.
Because it was never built on a foundation.
Right.
So now that the wind's blowing, right?
Either got rich has gotten by the seat. Man. You got off on these nations, and now the nations are mad.
Yep. Now
the nations are waking up to this shit, like the brother said earlier in the lesson, man, and they're mad. And now they want to shoot at this place. Yep. Now they're tired and they're fed up, and this is what we see happening on a global scale. Is the nations are all kicking back now.
Yeah, well, you see it happen. They're already invading. Look at the migrant crisis. Yep. They're sending military-aged men from all these different countries, and they ain't Mexicans.
Yeah, these other nations have been conspiring against America. I hope you citizens understand that.
Yep.
The nations of the world are conspiring to take the power from America.
Yep.
And
they're sick of it. Everybody's like, man, fuck this guy. He can't lead shit. Yep. Now this Sleepy Joe dude's in there.
They've been setting shit up.
The two candidates, right? It's a big sham joke. All right. So everybody's like, fuck it. And Putin's over there flexing. Yep. And nigga walking around, roundhouse kick you if you say something. So they like, yeah, we gonna follow this dude. Fuck them. Right. This dude's more competent. He can complete a sentence.
Right.
but yeah,
that's pretty much it, man. So, prepare for what's getting ready to come, man, because you got to understand how this world is run, and it's through money.
Yep.
And so when you start to see the money acting up, things are gonna go a different way.
Yep. Because they're pushing for the mark of the beast, ultimately.
Exactly. Because look at what happened through World War II. He came out with the solution to the problem, and you nations all fell for it, and y'all became subservient to Esau through his money.
And they got rich off of that same bullshit system. So
now he pushed. Then he made you push his money around the world to make it powerful.
And that's what he's still making them do. Because it ain't, they're mad. But guess what? They're still being puppets. Because they're still going to set up the market of beasts in their countries.
Right.
So it's all, again, we know who's really behind the scene.
Right,
It's more than just the nations,
This is his final part of the plan, was to, now I got the governments, this is what they're going to push. Now the end is to get the individuals of these governments.
And that's where that's what he can't account for. Right. That's why it's going to backfire on him, and it's going to boil over, man. And then people are just going to take it to the extreme because the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to do so. It's not like you're going to just be... That's what I'm saying. Like, their plan is not just blow... Like the Elder Ariel was saying, should blow everything up.
Right.
What the fuck? Who the fuck going to be around the... they're not just going to nuke everybody on the earth.
Right.
But all the missiles...
Servants.
That's what I'm saying. The Lord's going to put it on them to hit them buttons. All of them. Every single missile is going to be flying that day. On that day. Yeah, you close out though.
But hey, Lord's will is edifying. We want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to you brothers out there diligently pushing. Shalom.